One, horrific and reckless. There's global condemnation after Russia attacks a nuclear power plant here in Ukraine. Part of Europe's biggest nuclear site was ablaze. The flames have died down and the plant is safe, though now under Russian control.
Russian troops attacked the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. It's maybe 6 times the size of Chernobyl. The Russian tanks knew what they were firing at. They directly hit the plant. This is terror on an unprecedented level.
We've called for an urgent meeting of the UN Security Council. This is a threat to European security and stability, and we need those responsible to be held to account.
Intense fighting continues in the area around the nuclear plant. And residents in Mariupol are trying to survive a relentless barrage of Russian shelling. Power and water supplies have been cut off. A special NATO meeting of Western foreign ministers is taking place in Brussels. We'll be there and also on the Ukrainian border, where the huge flows of refugees escaping the fighting continues.
And I'm Ben Brown in the studio in London, also this lunchtime. The head of the World Bank tells the BBC that the war in Ukraine is a catastrophe for the world that will cut global growth. And the Winter Paralympics officially begins in Beijing, but without the teams from Russia and Belarus.
And stay with us on BBC News for continuing coverage and analysis from our team of correspondents in the UK and around the world.
Good afternoon and welcome to the BBC News at 1, live from the Ukrainian capital Kyiv, with the Russian invasion now in its 9th day. There was startling news overnight from the southwest, where Russian forces seized Europe's biggest nuclear power station hours after a fire broke out during shelling of the complex. Ukrainian officials say the blaze at the Zaporizhzhia plant didn't affect the facility's main buildings, and there's no indication of increased levels of radiation in the area, but the international nuclear watchdog says it's deeply concerned. Meanwhile, the besieged southern port city of Mariupol is enduring another day of relentless Russian bombardment, with most basic services cut off. In the last hour, the Kremlin has appealed for all Russians to rally around President Putin. There'll be more on Russia's military strategy, and we'll be live in Brussels as Western foreign ministers gather to assess their response to the war. But first, this report from our Kyiv correspondent, James Waterhouse.